Hi, my dad is very proud of his service with the military, especially with the 10th Mountain Division in World War II at the end of the war in Italy. He's talked a lot to me about it, his memories, and I've also attended a lot of his Veterans Group meetings with him. And I have one regret in life, and that's that my parents went on a reunion tour with the 10th Mountain Division to Italy back in the late 90s, and I didn't go with them. I had the opportunity and didn't go. And now my dad has Alzheimer's disease and he can't go, and I can't go with him. But my friend Susan and I took a trip to Italy recently, my first trip. And unbelievably, we actually were able to find a lot of the very significant places to my dad. We went armed with only this guidebook that my parents had when they went on their trip, and this picture of my dad on a restored motorboat on Lake Garda just after the war had ended. We started out in Milan, where I was able to go to the Duomo, the large, beautiful cathedral there, and I lit a candle for my dad. From Milan, we headed north. The 10th Mountain Division had gone up to the Po Valley and crossed the Po River, and that's where my dad joined them, just before the crossing. Unbelievably, we found a memorial there to the 10th Mountain Division. I was so excited to find this monument that is actually specifically for the 10th Mountain Division who crossed the River Po here. They were being shot at by the Nazis as they were crossing. It's kind of emotional being here, thinking that my dad was here and that he made it across, and many men did not. So I'm very grateful and to finally see this place where he's told me so many stories. From the Po River, we headed up north to Verona, following the 10th Mountain Division's path, and Verona was beautiful and we loved it. From Verona, we headed up towards Bardolino on the shores of Lake Garda. Beautiful, beautiful place, and the lake is just gorgeous, and I'm sure the soldiers enjoyed seeing it too, although at that time they had bigger things on their mind before the war ended. We followed the shores of Lake Garda up through the tunnels to Torboli. And I didn't know what we'd find in Torboli. I know the 10th had been there from the maps, but I went to an information center and I found a guy named Marco who knew a lot about the 10th Mountain Division. He was able to tell me where there's a memorial there in the town piazza, and he was able to tell me about the bunkers and the tunnels that we had gone through, and my dad had told me that he had lost his captain in one of those tunnels. There is a memorial here to the 10th Mountain Division. It says, "In honor of the 10th Mountain Division's supreme sacrifice for freedom and for the United States of America, 1945. I showed Marco the picture of my dad on the lake in the motorboat, and he was actually able to look at the picture and tell me where that picture was taken. So they're out in the middle of the lake.
They are in the middle of the
Here's
lake.
Torbolo.
This way.
And there's the other. Okay. Yeah. That was so fun for me to look out on that lake and know exactly where my dad was. So I'm excited that we have found this point. The thought of Dad being there and being under fire, he earned his Bronze Star there. To know he was just such a young man, but he made lifelong friendships and had just experiences that really shaped his whole life. That was emotional, but it was also incredibly emotional for me, thinking that my dad was sitting at home with dementia, not fully able to remember all of these things. And knowing that he might not even understand when I got home and told him I had gone on this trip to follow his path. But when I got home, I was incredibly happy and surprised when I sat down to tell my dad about my trip. Does it kind of stir up some of your memories to talk about it?
Yes, nice going.
He did get it.
I'm impressed of you.
Well,
that you bothered to do that.
Oh,
all of it.
It was an honor to do that. And the important thing was that my dad understood that I went to honor him, and that I respect him and love him, and he got that. And that made the whole thing worthwhile. It was a wonderful way to connect with my dad. Well, thank you, Daddy. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.